Good afternoon. It's Delpha-Medic, P.T.S.D on the front lines. It's January 4th, 2018. The sun is setting. It's beautiful, but it's cold out. I know that probably everywhere else is cold except for you folks down south. My name's Steve Wilton. I'd like to welcome to this night's video on weighted blankets. Just a quick little comment before we get into the discussion. Anything I say here is of my own experience or what I believe. If you want to do anything or try something that's suggested here, I suggest that you contact your own physician, psychiatrist, or psychologist. I am not licensed in any of those disciplines. I am a paramedic. Very different. What I'm going to discuss tonight is, like I said, is on weighted blankets. It was brought up to me recently after I was talking to a couple people that they wanted to do a little bit of a show on weighted blankets. And I segued into it from last night very quickly when I was doing sleep hygiene. A weighted blanket, I want you to think about how a weighted blanket might feel. Think about when someone comes up to you and gives you a really big hug and gives you that really nice, warm, compressing feeling. Or think about when your loved one curls up behind you at nighttime and they're sitting there and they're rubbing your head or rubbing your shoulders, whatever, but they're physically there. A child, when they're swaddled, is the same thing. They feel that constant pressure around them, and that's what provides a lot of comfort. One of the things I use in my own experience is that when I have dental work of all things, and I have a dental filling done, and they do the x-rays, that weighted blanket, it's the same thing. It's a weighted vest, but it feels the same way. It feels present. It makes me feel comfortable and present and relaxed. There's been limited studies done on weighted blankets and PTSD, but there has been more studies done on regards to autism and calming certain children down. They're out there on the internet. I have a few links I can provide if anybody wants some more information after this video airs. So like I said, there is limited information in regards to the whole thing. It hasn't been studied very well. The premise is that light touch, like if I was to turn around and rub my hand on your hair like this, or if I give you a big squeeze, it generates a different feeling. The first one is more of a stimulating feeling, like if you rub your hands like this with my finger, you can feel your skin getting really, you can feel that pressure, but you feel it's very specific and very direct to the skin contact. They call that more of a sensory thing. When you get a deep pressure hug or something that's wrapping around you, we get into talking to something that's called deep pressure. It's relaxing and calming, and it actually can relax the nervous system. Pressure applied, from what they say, is the same thing when you think about it. It can actually release serotonin, which is then transmitted down to melatonin for sleeping. Serotonin being our happy drug. A lot of us, especially with PTSD, and I can only speak for this person, we have a limited amount of serotonin, and we need to be on medication that helps us with serotonin to help our moods. Melatonin is used by a lot of people at sleep time to try and get more restful sleep, as well as other types of medications. I don't endorse any of these things, including the weighted blankets. I do not endorse it. I don't represent a company. It's just my opinion and what I've read about it. Getting on to why it feels good is that, like I said, deep touch therapy, the receptors react to that pressure, and the body relaxes and feels safe and grounded. I think about it when I have a big hug, or if I hug my other half and she's really upset or I'm upset. It feels soothing to have that constant pressure. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it's a full body pressure. That's what kind of like a weighted blanket feels like. It's just a blanket that seems to almost feel like someone's tucked it in around you. A few things that have been kind of studied, and there's been brief studies, and like I said, the results are very limited. Weighted blankets and deep pressure tissue therapy helps to give people, have reported to give people a sense of security, safety, calmness, a little bit more relaxation and comfort. In a couple studies that I've actually looked on the internet, they did some vital signs studies. They actually decreased people's heart rates and made them appear to be more relaxed. It was a quantitative study, meaning that it was done by pulse oximeter as well as an ECG, and the ECG was the standard of the study to measurement. The weighted blanket, like I said, acts on that deep touch therapy, and it really is I don't know, it feels like a warm hug. There is a lady named Temple Grandin, and she's a PhD with autism. She developed a squeeze machine in the 90s to deal with her own issues as far as issues around autism. And she actually had conducted various different studies. Yeah, there's my damn timer again. We'll make it really quick and short. Simple things that let you know. I also discovered that the Center of Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH, released a guide in 2011 called a Guided to Wellness and Comfort Activities. It actually even acknowledges on page 51 that weighted blankets can be very helpful. It basically describes a specialized blanket, which are an effective tool for clients with sensory challenges, hyperactivity, and or emotional and psychological distress. The deep pressure applied by these professionally made blankets can help clients find comfort when in distress. I have a website and PDFs and more information if you're interested in this. It took a lot of looking around the internet to get around the sites that were just out there selling a product, which is a lot of them out there. So I hope this information is helpful. Like I said, I'm not a licensed person, and use it at your own discretion and speak to your own physician and family doctor. Sorry, one and the same. Psychiatrist, psychologist, whoever you confide in. Have a great night. Stay warm. It's going to be really cold tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.